Hello everyone and welcome to episode 5 of Sky Factory 4. How are you doing? How's life? So I was thinking that we start today's episode by getting mob juice. Normally what we do is that we make a small dark room, we put a drop of evil and we get a lot of mobs. The problem is that we do not have extra utilities in this mod pack, so we need to think of something else. We still can make a dark room, but the problem is we live in an island which looks like a cheese. And there are too many holes that I have to fill in. So I was hoping that we can get a spawner. I was checking and there is a recipe for a spawner, but it's too complicated. But if you go to the tooltips, it will tell you spawners will also be dropped by Silk Touch. So I was thinking that if we go to the Nether with a Silk Touch pickaxe, we should be able to steal a spawner. Maybe that works too. Maybe it does not have to be the crafted spawner ones. Maybe we can just, I don't know, steal one. Hopefully. It's something that we can test. Oh, and by the way, I did make a nether cake and you will not believe what lies on the other side. Shall we check it? So you would spawn here and the best part is when you fly up, it's the same nether. That's my own portal. I'm very confused. I know the nether is dark, but I found a nether fortress and I just need to find a spawner. Which way should I go? It took me a while, but I found one. So we're just gonna silk touch it and run. Did we get it? Yes! Yes, yes, yes. Well, this is my lucky day because I found another one. Yes! Very good. Also in the nether fortress I found these things and they are a quest, but it says craft and eat a cyclic heart. I did not craft it, so will it count? Yes it does, okay, that's very good. Now that we have the spawners, we can proceed and make a mob farm so that we can extract mob juice from blazes. But the thing is, I also want to make a builder's wand. There is a building gadget from Direwolf, but I want to make this one because this one looks more complicated. We are going to need an ender core, which we get it by right clicking an ender crystal in the end. So I was thinking that we go to the end, fight the ender dragon, also make our builder's wand, and also get a dragon egg because we can use the dragon egg in order to modify the spawners as well. I think I do have ender... How did you spawn? Do we have crystals? I think I got some. Yeah, very good. So here is an inactive ender core, the advanced version. I hope this works. But there is a dragon egg here. Why? Okay. I don't care. I'm happy. But in any case, let us spawn the dragon because it's like 2 episodes that we haven't fought him and I feel bad. So as usual, I brought some EFLNs and we can get rid of the crystals. Oh, we need to activate this guy. So do you work like this? Oh, it's active. Okay, very good. Finally, an end city. I was beginning to think that they don't spawn anymore. Good, we can get some shulkers as well. So this guy requires ender charge. And I'm guessing we have to get it from the capacitors, so we have to go to the end and right click on an ender crystal. Why can't you just use a normal builder's wand? Okay, so here we go again. Anyway, I did make a data model for the Ender Dragon and it says 12 more to go. Are you crazy? Oh, it's already basic. Oh, okay, so it's fine, it's fine. So will you charge? That was fast. Yep, you're fully charged. Thank you. I should have made more. As an FYI note, I activated the parabox and I want to cheat, so I'm holding some Indirium, some nether stars and a dragon egg. So if we turn you off, will I duplicate stuff? Okay, so I just reloaded the world and we do have 6 nether stars, and do we have a dragon egg? Yes, so you can duplicate stuff. That was nice. So let us get back to the main problem at hand, which was the builder's one. So the way I understood this is that we're going to need a tool station and then we need to add the capacitor to it. So now this guy has energy, and the way it works is slightly complicated, but apparently you select the block and then you have to select corners. So that's one corner, and if we want to climb a little bit in order to make a wall, 1, 2, and this will be the second. Oh, that's the wrong corner, sorry. It's this block. So if we want to make a wall, we should do this, and then you should build it for me. That's nice. Slightly complicated, but nice. Apparently you can also copy buildings, but I haven't built anything to copy, and well, I don't know why it would be useful. Using our new builder's wand, I did finally manage to make a small mob farm, and it's 13 by 13 internally, and I think this is a good size because I could keep it in one chunk, and I do have a chunk loader here, and I do have a mob crusher from Industrial Foregoing, and since we are going to spawn blazes only, I'm going to only keep the sulfur and the blaze rods. I think it will do. The rest will just void, we don't care. So, I did bring one of the spawners, and I think we just have to put him here and then add some modifiers. I forgot what they actually do. So, a gas tier will increase the max nearby entities. So, a gas tier. Then another star will ignore the player or something. I think. Yes. Dragon Egg will also ignore spawn conditions, so even though we have lights here, this should work. And the Fermented Spider Eye should decrease the spawn delay, I think. I think it worked. Do you? That's too slow. I think a clock would make it work faster, so let us try. I'm stuck. Oops. Okay. Are you working faster? Well, it's not the best system, but it does generate mob juice, so I'm happy. I'm okay with that. How much is it? Actually, it's not that bad. That's actually good. Okay, we can move on to other projects. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention that the main reason that I'm using this setup and not just a dark room, which would be much more efficient, is that I'm going to use a mega torch in the main island so that I would... What? Oh, you need prismarine. Oh, we can make it. Okay, it's fine. I'm going to use a mega torch in the main island to prevent mobs from spawning, and if I have a dark room nearby, which I have to be close to it, then it won't really work. This is why I had to go with the spawner, otherwise I think a dark room would be much better. Every time that I try to sleep, I put a torch by mistake. Anyways, we are going to need to make much more RF, because our setup over there... What happened to the guy? Cactus. So this is where he's supposed to stand, and we need to push that guy a little bit so that he will fall into the hole. I hope. You can move that. Okay. As I was saying, we need to generate much more RF. Our setup here with gas burning generators is working surprisingly well, and I think they have been buffed in this mod pack, but it has a flaw. Now that flaw is, as long as it's full of ethylene, it will produce a lot of RF. If the amount of ethylene drops, then it will produce much less. And if it produces much less RF, then it cannot sustain the production of ethylene, so it will get less ethylene, and then it will produce less RF, and the circle continues until we don't get any more RF, and the system will not be able to sustain itself. So what we are going to need to do is to start looking at other power sources, and I was thinking different reactors. So we do have a fusion reactor from Matter Overdrive, but it requires me to make a ring around a black hole. and that doesn't sound very safe. And I don't want to do it in my current armor, so maybe later on. For now, I was thinking that we do a reactor from mechanism. So we need to make thermal evaporation towers. And there's of course a fusion reactor from nuclear craft, but dream on, I'm not gonna do that. So first things first, let us try the traditional way of using solar panels. And I want to see how much brine it makes. So we give power to the pump and we add a fluid duct. It's not connected because the structure itself is not formed. And I just have to put the solar panels, then it should. Okay, so we are getting water and we are producing brine at a rate of 2.7 millibuckets per tick, which is increasing. We also need to get rid of this brine to see what is the production rate at maximum. So let me try and figure something out and I'll be right back. I put a quantum tank and I'm getting rid of the brine, and this guy almost caps out at 50 millibuckets per tick. Each 10 millibuckets of brine equals 1 millibucket of lithium, and each millibucket of lithium equals 1 millibucket of tritium. So that's 5 millibuckets of fuel maximum, and we need to increase this. So I brought a resistive heater and let's see if it makes any difference. So with a resistive heater, it's producing 112 millibuckets per tick, which is not that bad. We are losing water, but I can just add another pipe. That's not going to be an issue. So we can do this with just one thermal evaporation tower. For brine. We need another one for lithium, but you know, you get the idea. So my other problem is that this guy is not sucking fast enough. So what if we change the servo? Will you be good? No. Okay. In order to kickstart the reactor, we are going to need a lot of RF. So I was thinking that let's make an induction matrix from mechanism to store a lot of RF. And then I thought, okay, so let's make lithium. Apparently lithium from mechanism is disabled and we have to use the ingots from nuclear craft. And I only have 3000. So we need to dupe it somehow, I think. So we just turn you on and we take the lithium and we turn you off. So I just logged back in and let's see if we have some. Yes, very good, very good. After duping a little bit of lithium, I did manage to make an ultimate induction cell and an ultimate induction provider. So as usual, let's explain how the system works. Like any other multi-block structure from mechanism, it could be a maximum of 18 by 18 by 18. And this is the smallest size you can make it. It's 3 by 3 by 4, because you are going to need at least one induction provider, which will determine how much RF goes inside and outside of your induction matrix. And you're going to need at least one induction cell, which actually holds the RF. One ultimate induction provider can handle 13 million RF, and an induction cell, the ultimate version, can hold 200 billion. Then we are going to need 2 of these induction ports on each side, and then the multi-block structure will form. And now we need to change the mode on one of the ports. So this is on input, and if we right click with this guy, this will be output. Now it will function. I did prepare a room, and inside we do have an induction matrix which has an internal space of 5 by 5 by 4. It should be more than enough. We don't need more than one induction provider because that can handle 13 million RF, and we are never going to exceed that amount. So we put you here, and then we just complete the multi-block structure. Like so. You're done, right? And we just configure you so that you will send RF to the induction matrix. And I hope now it works and I did not screw anything up. I hope. Yep. 16,000 RF. That's it. So I just had an idea. The reason that we are producing only 16,000 RF per tick is that these flux ducts can transfer 16,000 RF per tick per connection. And our quantum entangler porter here has only one connection. So if we do it like this, we should get 32,000, right? I think. Yes, we get 32,000. That's nice. While we are storing some RF, I ran into an additional problem, and that is I'm running low on resources. An induction cell is extremely expensive and it requires a lot of gold, iron, redstone and diamonds. And we're not producing them. So I was thinking maybe we can use these saplings and generate a little bit of resources. The problem with these guys is that, as I have told you, they make much more acorns than resins, and that is a huge problem. You can melt down the resin or the acorn inside a melter, but that will give you just one nugget and it's super slow. So this is not gonna work. We need to come up with a better system. Also, I did AFK a lot and we have a lot of prestige points, so we should be able to unlock this blue mulch. That gives us 1000% growth rate. That's nice. How do you make it? Wow. Okay. HDPE, okay. Fertilizer. Fine. I know you guys must be very jealous of my neat cabling, and well, you should be. It's awesome. You can never do this. Anyway, we are producing HDPE very slowly, but it's functioning, so I should probably not complain. We were already producing ethylene for our gas burning generators. We put it inside a rotary condensator and we get liquid ethylene. That goes with oxygen inside another PRC with substrate, which we are producing from here, and makes us HDPE. We also get a little bit of extra oxygen, which I'm putting inside the basic gas tank, and I'm dumping the excess so that it doesn't get clogged up. There's a pigman somewhere. Anyway, we are getting HDPE. That is good. Now we need fertilizer. I don't think we are going to need millions of cow poop, so I'm just going to extract, I don't know, a few stacks and that's it. So we put you here, we also put a servo, and you should work, technically. Yes. Very good. I did make some blue mulch and you can see the difference. It's really good. Very good. Alright guys, I came up with a solution which is slightly overcomplicated and slightly stupid. But it makes me happy because I like stupid things. Anyway, as you know, the production of resin and acorns from the bonsai pots is not balanced in order to make the ambers. So we are bound to have extra amount of acorns, which is not something that I like. And then we still need to auto-craft stuff and put them inside our ore dabbling unit thingy. Anyway, what I did is that I made an independent applied Energistics system, and instead of drives we are having black hole units, and these have a capacity of holding like 2 billion of a single item. So if we get, I don't know, extra acorns for osmium, it's not going to be a problem because we have capacity to keep like 2 billion of them. So that is a good thing. Then I do have CPUs and interfaces, molecular assemblers and so on in order to craft the final product. So my idea is that we are going to need an export bus. I already put the patterns, so for instance we can make the diamonds, the iron amber, gold, quartz, glowstone and etc. So if we put you here and put a crafting card, a capacity card and 2 of you and 1 diamond, so you should automatically craft it. Yes, 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 yes. So I did set up extra filters and now everything is working fine. The ambers from osmium, gold and iron go inside this ender chest, which will be processed and dabbled in our ore dabbling thingy over there, and the rest of the items will just go inside this ender chest and goes into our main ME system. I just have to clean it up. Now that we have a small buffer of RF, we should be able to kickstart the reactor. But first things first, we need to take care of the fuel. And I think the first fuel that we are going to take care of is tritium. So the way that we get tritium is that we are going to need a thermal evaporation tower, which makes brine. Then we're going to process that brine inside another thermal evaporation tower, which gives us lithium. And the reason that the rates are so low is because I have hooked them up to heaters, but the heaters are not turned on. They do produce slowly. I was trying to conserve on energy. So then we need to take that liquid lithium and turn it into lithium gas through a rotary condensator. And I think we can just do it here. So we put a valve and we extract the lithium. So now we're getting lithium gas, and now we need to process it in a solar neutron collector, which does need access to sunlight. So I brought some pipes, yes, pressurized tubes, and we can just extract it from here. I'm stuck. So you are getting lithium, but you're not producing any tritium. Is it because of the glass? Oh, okay. I should have made it here. Yes, now you have access to sunlight and you are making tritium. Easy peasy. This guy does not require RF, it just requires sunlight. Also, the solar neutron collector does not work during nighttime, so it does make sense to have a small buffer for tritium. Yes, very good. The other fuel that we are going to need is deuterium, and for that we are going to need heavy water. In order to get heavy water in mechanism, we're going to need pumps with filter upgrades. So I made 8 and I think it should be enough. Then we need to process that heavy water inside an electrolytic separator in order to get oxygen, which we don't need, and deuterium. Very good. So obviously we are not going to make the DT fuel inside a chemical infuser and inject it directly into the reactor, because then the reactor will shut down and we will not be able to keep up with the production of fuel. But we are going to need a little bit of DT fuel in order to kickstart the reactor itself. So we are going to do this. Good. And we're going to take a sample from here. Yes, very good. Maybe I make more. Yeah, why not? Well, now that I have a few samples, I did hook up the fuels to the reactor itself, and now we should be able to make the laser and fire this thing up. I'll be right back. Okay, so I did set up the lasers, and the way this works is that you're going to need these smaller lasers in order to beam into these amplifiers. Then the power will gather in the last one because I have it on redstone, and if we flick the lever, it will fire. So we need it to fire when it reaches around 1 billion RF, and basically there's nothing to do rather than wait. In order to kickstart the reactor, we are going to put a little bit of DT fuel inside, and then we need to specify the fuel injection rate. I don't need this guy to make millions of RF because I'm not producing that much fuel, so I think a fuel rate of 8 millibuckets per tick should be more than enough. How do you say 8? Are you at 8? Yes, good. Are you a billion? I have to wait. Finally, 1 billion RF. We should be able to start it up. Yes! It's beautiful. And with 8 millibuckets of fuel, it is generating more than 600,000 RF. I was hoping for like 100,000. This is so good. To be honest with you guys, I'm extremely happy with this guy because it is generating 780,000 RF per tick, and we are gaining also fuel. So we should be able to even increase it to like, I don't know, 1 million. But I don't think it's going to be necessary. I think even 100,000 RF should be enough to finish the pack. But I'm extremely happy. I still need to decorate this place, make it look nice. I made some reactor glass, industrial glass, and it should look fine, I guess. Anyway, I think it's also time to wrap up the episode. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Till the next one, bye bye.